What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Frank and this is Morals Over Money. Everybody coming back, appreciate the love. Those of y'all coming for the first time, welcome. So today we're going to talk about another crime case, and this shit is crazy. $1 billion worth of cocaine was seized. This is an older story from about a year ago. In the port in South Philly, $1 billion worth of cocaine was seized.
Tons of cocaine crammed into containers on a cargo ship.
15,000 kilos, that's a lot.
Tonight, the history-making haul and how it all came to be.
Seizure, the largest ever for our area and one of the biggest in U.S. history. Authorities say the drugs could have a street value of more than $1 billion. More than 15,000 kilos of cocaine has been seized from 7 containers on that ship. When you do the math, we are talking about 16.5 tons of the drugs, some 33,000 pounds.
As for that ship, it was intercepted by the feds at the Packer Avenue Marine Terminal port on the Delaware River in South Philadelphia. That's after it had been to Chile, Panama, and the Bahamas.
Yeah, that's right, Jim and Jacqueline. In the last 20 minutes, we found out how the drugs got on this ship. Police paperwork says a crew and a drug ring used floating nets off the coast of Peru. Now, take a look at those containers. That crew filled 7 of them with $1 billion worth of cocaine. This drug bust has a trickle-down effect, which ultimately keeps you, your family, and your neighborhood safe. An historic large-scale cocaine bust that sounds like something out of a big-budget blockbuster. 33,000 pounds of coke worth more than $1 billion. Investigators found the drugs in 7 shipping containers the size of a standard tractor trailer aboard a ship at a Philadelphia port. A senior law enforcement official told NBC 10 the ship traveled from Chile to Panama and to the Bahamas before it stopped in South Philly. Last night's bust comes 3 months after another cocaine seizure, which at the time was the 4th largest in the region. Well, back in March, authorities captured 1,200 pounds of coke worth $38 million. A total which is now pocket change compared to what investigators found on a South American ship. In the statement, MSC said shipping companies are often the targets of drug trafficking. It takes this matter very seriously, and they are working with law enforcement.
Because before today, it had seized 19 tons of cocaine. That's across the entire country. The 16 tons that they found in Philadelphia nearly doubles the total. When federal agents boarded this cargo ship in the port of Philadelphia, they discovered drugs scattered throughout 7 massive containers. Before arriving in Philly, the cargo ship traveled from Chile through Panama and the Bahamas.
You want to get as high up in the food chain as possible to prevent as much drugs as you can to getting it onto the streets.
15,000 kilos is a one-of-a-kind drug seizure, something never before seen.
That's a massive amount. I mean, just with 1 kilo, the street value of that is roughly $30,000.
Port of Philadelphia security is fully in the hands of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. CBP requires any ship headed for the U.S. to file details on its route and cargo. The answers may trigger an inspection. Customs officials have not released details of what was seized, but did confirm a massive investigation underway at Philadelphia's port. The Port of Philadelphia is the 23rd busiest port in the U.S., with more than 23 million tons of cargo hitting the dock each year. This is now the 3rd significant drug seizure in our region this year. In March, customs officials discovered $38 million in cocaine at the Port of Philadelphia and another $77 million worth at the Port of New York and New Jersey.
Seized. All right. To put that into perspective, it's one of the biggest cases ever in American history. Definitely the biggest case on the East Coast. Hands down. 16.5 tons of cocaine. 16.5 tons. That's a lot of shit, man. Listen, that's a lot of cocaine. That ain't no bullshit, all right? So the drugs were concealed in 7 shipping containers. A shipping container is basically the size of a tractor trailer, right? You see the big tractor trailers hauling like Walmart and stuff like that. That's a shipping container. So they were stuffed in 7 of them. The ship that it was caught on had made several stops throughout South America, one including Peru. Off the coast of Peru is when a couple ships in the middle of the night approached the shipping vessel and offloaded like half of the shipment. And then a couple hours later, 8 more boats came and did the other half of the shipment. One of the crewmates was paid $50,000 to help transport the drugs. They used the crane to get it off the boats onto the big ship. So what they did is, it's like you see in movies. They got the big ship, Freightliner ship, and then they got these other smaller ships that go a lot faster. They pull up to the ship, they grab the crane that is on the Freightliner ship and pick up the packages. So they take the packages, they hide them in 7 different shipping containers. And like I said, one of the individuals was paid $50,000 and basically told, look, you want to make $50,000? Who's going to turn that down? I might have been on that ship and I might have thought I was going to be $50,000 richer. And until we pulled into port and see what happened. So he said he was recruited by basically the captain of the ship to do this dirty work. Listen, 100% somebody had to tell that was going on. You know how many ships pass port and do not get caught? Thousands and thousands and thousands. So for that to get caught with that amount of drugs, 100% somebody told them, search this ship at this time. Here's the number that's going to be on the ship. They're going to be flying this certain flag. Book them and you're going to be happy. So if somebody put that out there for that to happen, but meanwhile they're probably, they found $1 billion on that ship. There might have been another ship with $2-3 billion worth of coke. So any type of port cities are cities that are on the water that have shipping. They shipping is an industry there. So there's a port where there's goods coming and going. Any type of port city, you can rest assured that there's a large amount of drugs in those cities because that's the way the majority of drugs come in. You always hear about people sneaking in drugs, a couple kilos in a car. This is something completely different. This is, thousands and thousands of kilos that were brought in. Like I said, this one of the biggest seizures ever in American history and the biggest that port. So the ship was called the MSC, the Mediterranean Shipping Company. That's the name of the ship. That's who owns the ship. But it gets a little deeper too, because the person who owns the shipping company. So JP Morgan Chase is who owns the shipping company, which you think about that, there's always these conspiracy theories of government and drugs, and some of them have even been founded. Like the back in the 70s and the 80s, the CIA basically got caught selling large amounts of crack cocaine in Los Angeles to fund wars in Nicaragua. They seen that communists were going to take over Nicaragua, so they were funding that war. They were trading drugs for guns. The CIA was letting the drugs come in, and in turn taking that money to buy weapons. So this is nothing new. This is something that has happened throughout history numerous times. This is nothing new at all. So let me just run it down for you. 16.5 tons of cocaine with an approximate street value of $1 billion. This is the largest drug seizure in the history of the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Before coming to Philadelphia, the Mediterranean Shipping Company ship was previously in the Bahamas, Panama, Peru, and Colombia. The ship was on its way to the Netherlands after leaving Philadelphia. According to the complaint, Durasevich admitted to his role to authorities in bringing cocaine onto the vessel after being offered $50,000 by a chief officer. Durasevich told authorities that the cocaine was loaded onto the ship after leaving Peru. Tiasaga is the chief officer. So Tiasaga told authorities that 6 boats approached the ship during the night, and him and Durasevich operated a crane, bringing on the bags of cocaine on board. The ship was later approached by another 8 boats. to fulfill the second half of the shipment. A U.S. Customs and Border Protection and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, along with Homeland Security investigation, led to the inspection of the containers, the seizure which happened June 17th of 2019. So they've made a total of 2 arrests with this, Tia Saga and Durasevich. They are of, they're from the Eastern Europe, so the Eastern Bloc, part of the Soviet Union when it collapsed. A lot of small countries broke up. They didn't say exactly where they were from. You know, one thing that we know for sure is this bus saved a lot of people's lives. Imagine that amount of drugs being brought in to Philadelphia, you know, anywhere. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. One thing I can also guarantee you is that there were a lot of people killed, a lot of heads rolled behind this. There's going to be people that they feel told, because something like this goes on, there's not a lot of people that know about it. There's only a handful of people that know about it. So there's people that I guarantee you came up missing behind something like this. This is you know, not your ordinary bus by far. This had the potential to make billions of dollars once it hit the United States. Imagine, you know, 1 kilo, you know, the estimated price was right around $40,000-$50,000 per kilo, that they came up with that $1 billion, you know, price on the drug seized. So now just imagine that being broken up. The majority of that would have been wholesale, you know what I mean, in large amounts, but then that shit would have got broken down somewhere along the line. So that would have made billions and billions of dollars when it's all said and done. With stopping that comes a lot of violence that was being stopped. Anytime there's drug, there's violence. So a lot of violence. It potentially saved a lot of people's lives in ODs, but also in the violence that comes along with that, with those drugs. But imagine being at work, doing your normal job, and one of your coworkers comes to you and says, "Hey, I got $50,000 for you. I need about an hour's work out of you. What you gonna do?" Shit, I don't know. I would like to say that Frank is gonna say hell no, but somebody come to me and tell me we got $50,000 for you. I need 2 hours of your time. It's a hard decision. I hope I say no. I don't know. I was never put in that situation, but I'm just being honest. I can sit here and tell you, yeah, I'll say no. Hell no. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for checking the story out. Thank you for tuning into the channel. Patient, kind, and loving with others, because at one point in our life, somebody was patient, kind, and loving with us. Have a great day and stay blessed, y'all.